is so cold.
It's freezing out here.
Hi everyone, Jay here. This is my friend Prince.
Hey,
See,
again.
you know.
Okay. A couple of things that have been on my mind are how to communicate effectively.
Communication is a big part of relationship. I mean, it's a big part of any type of friendship or anything that you do in life, because you have to be able to communicate well in order to progress. And sometimes relationship-wise, there's always a person who lacks the appropriate amount of communication. There's one person who's very strong and then the other person who's like kind of weak. So there's always like an off balance. So one person has to give more communication-wise than the other.
So, good thing to bring up is a lot of times like we hear, hey stranger, or well, I didn't call you because you didn't call me, or I didn't text you because you didn't text me first. That whole stigma with texting first. Some people just don't have the same schedule as you, and some people overlook text messaging. Text messaging is not the priority form of communication. So it's just, I think, in my opinion, it's important to realize that there are differences amongst the way we all communicate. So if you're trying to reach out to someone, or if you're trying to get to know someone and it seems a little difficult with the means in which you communicate, that you should always kind of open up another door. Maybe we can FaceTime, maybe we can talk on the phone, maybe we can webcam, even communicate through social media.
Subject though, like if you know that you're not that type of person that texts all the time, don't say, oh, text me, because then I'm assuming that you're gonna be on your phone texting. But if you're not a texter, then don't tell someone to text you when you know that you don't really text me. You know, there's a lot in communication without communicating.
What would you mean by that? Kind of elaborate. So do you mean like the hidden communications, non-verbal communications?
Right. So it's like this communication skill where you're not really communicating, but you're communicating. So it's like if you're trying to get my attention or something and you're doing like this solid communication, I'm just assuming that you just not talking and you just don't want to talk right now, and I'm just gonna be like on my phone doing something other than talking to you.
I'm starting to notice that people hardly like to speak to each other. They much rather use their keyboards to type words or photos to communicate their emotions or feelings. There is something that speech possesses that a lot of the other forms of communication doesn't, as far as tone and dialect and volume. Just all of those things are important components in the way that you want to convey a message. So not everything could be text. Because there's a different experience when you listen to someone sing a song versus when you read the lyrics on a computer screen. So that's a perfect example of the different dynamics that speech and words may have. So I'm noticing like a lot of the connections I make, people are so quick to say text me, you know, or hit me up on this social network or that social network, but there is so much lost without those words and without that face-to-face communication. So always try to FaceTime or meet up and talk to people, because you'll really gain a lot more about a person.
Like what I tell you in a text message can be taken completely different than what I would say in person.
Let's talk about some of the messages themselves. Texting is free now, is what I'm noticing. A lot of people text people without saving numbers and text people without really having a conversation, but just for the, you know, the joy of texting. There is something really important about doing that you might want to pay attention to. It's just a subconscious effect. And a lot of times we tend to feel like we have a relationship with the person because they may text us often, in which you may not have a relationship at all. And sometimes that's really important when you think about self. So I'll use dating as a perfect grounds to that. So if you wake up every day and you get all these good morning text messages, or you get good morning text messages from a person consecutively, you start to get this false sense of a bond, in which, you know, a text message is a very short action. You know, it doesn't take much to send one, And in my opinion, sending a text message does not give you any means to say you care about me. So just think about that kind of when you're trying to get to know me.
I don't know about that one though.
Let's see.
I feel like if someone is texting you good morning, then they are taking the time out of their day. I mean, in the morning, because you know, when we get up in the morning, we are not flawless like Beyonce wants us to believe. Like, there's a lot of preparation that's involved.
You ask yourself, is that a lot of effort? What would you have done before text message? How would you have told that person that you were thinking about them in the morning?
You would have called, but yes. You would have made a phone call.
You would have made a phone call. And it's just
touche. Touche.
To each his own, you know, and everybody won't. You know, that does not by any means that a person who's texting you good morning every morning does not care about you. It's not at all what I'm trying to say. But if you find yourself in these text message relationships, you know, it's just something that you really might want to think about because you really give yourself more of a false sense of anything versus the other person that you're doing that. So it's really all about the way that you know, you get that message versus the person who actually sent it. And to those of you who send out mass good morning text messages, you know, keep doing that. I mean, it does tell people that they're on your mind.
I like it.
Yeah, I love good morning text anyway. I love good night text. I love text, period, because it does show that you are thinking about me. But just be careful with it, because if you can find yourself really lost in the end, you can find yourself without in the end, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on with one person aside from the messages that they send you through their cellular device during the day. Someone can text you good morning, and in 5 minutes they can be laying up with somebody else. Not saying that happens, but it's just something to think about when it comes to getting to know others and dating.
Now, since we're talking about that brings up some shady boots, okay?
Shady boots.
So, people use their phones for cover for everything because they're doing shady things and they don't want the other person to know that they're being shady boots. Clicking them shady boots.
Cell phones are going to grow in a way to which I think a lot of people will start to be exposed. I think that they're going to start sharing a lot of information. They're going to become devices that are used to communicate a whole lot differently than we do now, as far as meeting up and transferring, you know, locations, and just, you can already see it with FaceTime and location services, but it's going to expand to get even more personal than that. So your phone is going to hold a lot more truth than you would want it to.
But a lot of people have locks on their phone because the truth lies in their phone. In messages and social media, it's like,
and all those little apps on there.
Some of them appropriate, some of them not so much.
That brings up another good topic. What are you really learning when you communicate with other people? I mean, is it just passing time, or are you using that means of communication as a way to actually get some knowledge about people, get some knowledge about what they do, how they behave, their likes and dislikes? These type of things will help you in the future with getting to know other people, and they may even open up doors for you that you have no idea that were there in the first place.
And with that being said, if you're talking to different people, I mean, not only just like dating wise, any type of relationship, you always want to talk for knowledge. Like, you don't want to just open up your mouth and just say something just because you can.
Talking to those individuals that are abuse the use of, hey, what's up? Oh, nothing much. Talking about the ones that say K,
what?
You know? Like, don't waste my time with these senseless messages.
Wait, I do that. I do that.
A little self-reflection is, that's all. We do love questions. If you guys have any, or if you have any ideas that you want to kind of discuss with us, then feel free. Always welcome.
If you like this video, make sure that you comment below, like it. Of course, give me a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. We love thumbs up.
Yes.
So
thumbs up. Subscribe, of course, so you can see what I have for you next.
Okay.
And also, the links will be below. You can follow my friend Prince at.
My Instagram handle will be at Prentice Tate. It'll be down there.
Just give us feedback. We'd really love to know what you guys think about our topic on communication. basically anything. If you have a topic that you want us to discuss, just leave a comment below.
Just if we can help you with any advice or just creating a conversation. Sometimes opening up the door to the conversation is the first step to a very important process. So do that.
See you guys later. Bye.